The good girls are getting passed over, but so are the young guys that are good. So
Because the young guys don't want the good girls either.
But
no, yes,
so
Everybody
this
wants
is where,
opposite.
not just that, right? I think because earlier I was saying we like to conflate things because that it makes things easier. Um, Attention is not love. Attention is not respect. Attention does not necessarily mean a healthy relationship. So I think when we stop overvaluing attention and start valuing somebody who values us, we start to look at that differently.
The problem is the men that women desire are the ones who have this thing going, you know. For example, yeah, it's not like her butt is super big or it's like a nice little cute, you know, figure or whatever. But what happens is when women see the men they desire with a certain type of woman, they aspire to be like that woman. And though, fortunately, whether it be entertainment or anything of that nature, those guys who are higher up in the hierarchy as far as finances are concerned, they usually have a certain type of woman beside them who have these features.
Mm.
And I was also gonna say too, like, kind of what you were saying. Like, I know girls especially are more susceptible to body image issues, and that's because even in these spaces we hear it now as adults, at the men just saying things, oh,
What size are
we
you?
want fit, feminine and friendly. Like, it is so much emphasis that are placed on our body and our looks. And so we learned early on that we think that our value, especially a value to a man, is always going to be about how we look. And so then when we see all of these images of, like, you're trying to sell a car and there's a woman washing the car, or selling a drink and she's half dressed, and you're seeing these things, and when you are seeing these pictures, a lot of these women don't look like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, when I was younger, I was very shapely at an early age. I had the small waist and the hips, and I had grown men coming at me, and that made me very uncomfortable in my body. And so then I love, the era when the baggy clothes came out, because I was able to hide. And then as I got older and I saw that it was attractive, my shape was attractive, and I was getting attention from the men that I like, then it was, let me wear these short shorts. You know what I'm saying? So I think since so much emphasis is placed on our bodies, that's why you have so many women that are willing to die to look a certain way, because it is the idea of me, looking like what perfection is supposed to be, and then I'll be able to attract or have access to the type of man that I like. And I think we're responsible, but I also think society is responsible as well. And when on one end, when men are saying they want, oh, I love natural looking women. I want you. I don't like women that wear makeup. I don't like women, that have these weaves in their hair. I don't like, all of these things that they say that they like as natural. But then when you're seeing social media or you're seeing certain things, it doesn't match up with what they're saying. And so for women who are not, that are natural, but they're seeing in their minds the opposite, then it kind of puts them in a position to say, let me get this weave, let me get these, let me put some more makeup on, because they're trying to look more attractive to
I
get
think
more.
I think I agree with that. And I think if more men fall in line and suit and say that stop giving attention to these Instagram girls and put like first, I guess some reason Ice Spice, I think she's more popular amongst men than women because she's the first natural hair rapper with her. She's literally wearing her natural kinky curly hair, and she doesn't have like loads of makeup on. She looks kind of like natural. She has a naturally voluptuous body. So men are like, I saw comments where women were like, I don't see what everybody is hyped about, and men were like, because you're not a man, so it's just like if they did more of that and they stopped praising the women who got these BBLs and long weaves and stuff like that and heavy makeup on, then maybe the women will say, or they start praising the fitness models more and reposting them instead of women showing their ass online and twerking and dancing. Maybe women would be like, oh, let me be like that girl instead of Cardi B or whoever.
But and also women can also look at more statistics and see what types of women are actually getting married, because I don't think we're going to take away that attachment to like BBLs and stuff like it. It's fun. Like it is fun seeing women that look beautiful and that you can have an imagination with. That is, I don't think there's necessarily anything that's wrong with that. But when we start applying that to real life, like we start to go kind of haywire with the expectations that some men can have of women, the men that are on the extreme side, and also with women too, because there's also there's I think the women that are like really out of shape to the point where it's unhealthy, and yet they are causing a stir saying you need to love me as I am or love me just the way I come. They cause problems for a lot of the average women too. So I think we just exist inside so many extremes that just look who's actually getting married. There's very plain looking people are getting married.
Yeah, but
to each other. But the problem is
messed over. The good girls really do be getting messed over, and then the girls that are not getting married, at least they're getting something out of it, like a bag vacation, house, cars, and then you're like, man, I'm over here being a good girl, and I keep getting messed over, cheated on, left. I'm tired. I'm gonna go get this BBL.
The good girls are getting passed over, but so are the young guys that are good. So
because the young guys don't want the good girls either.
But
no,
everybody wants opposite.
Not just that, right? I think because earlier I was saying we like to conflate things because it makes things easier. Attention is not love. Attention is not respect. Attention does not necessarily mean a healthy relationship. So I think when we stop overvaluing attention and start valuing somebody who values us, we start to look at that differently, because how many likes a girl has because of her body, or how many of those girls are in a guy's following, start to look different when you understand what Nelson is saying of like, I like this, I can give this attention, I don't have any value, I don't see the value in it past pleasure, right? And just taking a quick peek at the chat whenever we were talking about the BBLs, it seemed like a lot of the men in the chat were aligning with that too, right? Like attention and value are not the same thing. And so the second that women stop equating one to the other, I don't know that so many girls would feel passed up.
I want to just say, because we're going to talk about the stats. The stats are only 48% of men have married. So if all these guys were married and you were just left over, that will make so much sense. So it don't like they marrying anybody. The good girl, the bad girl, the booty girl, they ain't marrying nobody. So let's please keep that in mind, okay? But then when you're I actually had a guy. We talked about marriage, okay? And he made it very clear that he is expecting that body to stay the way it is. Like these came out his mouth. This came out his mouth. Look, and Tara mistaken knows who I'm talking about. He places a lot of, and it's not that. I mean, he's a great guy, but he makes it very clear that.
Well, he better stay the same way too, because a lot of them be having.
He just felt like as long as
that's a character thing too.
Saying all of this, they be having pop bellies and fading hairlines and stuff, and we gotta look at you with your bald spot and stuff, and you and
he tell it they be non-existent hairlines.
But also think that's what he cares about too. So if he married you because of your certain level of fitness, and then once you get comfortable inside the marriage, You start letting things go. You start walking past them and just farting and burping all over the place and being your authentic self. That's when the problems start coming
Why
out.
you can't be
What's wrong
yourself?
with
Why,
that?
when women naturally pass gas, I don't know why men act like that don't exist. Like we don't do that. This
But
a
you
woman
also-
went to a hospital. She went to the hospital because she was holding on her farts for so long around her man that it sent her to the hospital. She
She
couldn't
should have
walk.
just went to the bathroom and go and let that out.
So B
She
Taylor,
should
like,
go to the bathroom.
so B Taylor, I think we like apples and apples, right? Because if a man is really generous at the beginning of a relationship and then he gets married and starts to become really frugal, that becomes problematic, right? And I think society values women based on their aesthetic, and it values men based on their productivity, right? So I think a lot of times we're taught in a relationship, you got to stay the same in order to maintain the relationship. We're not taught how to value the actual human being and be able to grow together, right? And so we force people to stay the same. And I think this probably goes a lot to why divorce rates are also so high, that when one of the people changes and grows, or people change and grow in a way where they're not still connected, we don't value each other the same way anymore, because the thing that we valued, not the person that we valued, has now morphed out of what we continue to value, right? So yes, we could talk about men and their receding hairlines and their pot bellies, but if that man earns enough, there will always be beautiful women that are willing to make that compromise.
Is it all about money? Like, is it all about money? I see women literally will leave they'll leave a good relationship with a man that may not make all this money, but he's a family man, he's a good man. But then they go and say, well, this man is selling me a dream and he got money. Now women are saying, you know what, I deserve better than this.
Well, it's the 80-20, right? The 80-20 rule, where you find somebody who has 80% of what you want, and you think that 20% is going to complete you to 100, but really you're losing 60% as you move over to the 20. And I think a lot of people haven't learned that math. And so we continue to focus on the thing that we value the most. And yes, not every woman is solely financially based, right? Because we see those relationships fall apart too. However, there are enough women out there who are solely financially focused that they're willing to make compromises that other women may not.
Yeah,
same thing with men, right? Men talk about
remember?
how they want women to be their peace, but if that woman is beautiful enough, there are men out there who are willing to sacrifice their peace to be with this specific woman, right? So
for a time period.
Right. And so I think that people follow what they value, and that 80-20 rule kind of comes into play too. And it's just, things are messy and fun.
Okay. All right, guys. So I don't want to keep y'all any longer. So we're gonna give our final thoughts. If you want to give your final thoughts and a solution to either or video about bad pee management, women with the first video, or body dysmorphia in the community. We'll start with Shamonette. I'll start with you.
I have the same solution that I've had many other episodes, and it's going to continue on for this episode and episodes to come. Women, close your legs to a man who's not married to you, who does not want to take responsibility for you, who doesn't even look at you as being his wife.
Inaz.
I love that advice. I will also say, like, know yourself, understand yourself, respect yourself, value yourself, and that will allow you to make the types of decisions that Shan was talking about.
Mistaken.
Inaz already took what I was going to say. It's more about, spend more time getting to know who you are. So then when you meet your mate or what you're looking for, that you are, in alignment. That's all. But a little bit what Nelson said, if you got to fart, go ahead and fart. Be your authentic self so that person can see 100% what they're getting.
Nelson looking like go to the bathroom. Oh my God, curse for life.
Don't alter your body for no reason. Learn to love yourself the way you are. There is always somebody who is gonna love you just the way you are. Now, if you want to change for your own, however that may be, I would just say do it the natural way. And that's all I have.
Change the way that you approach dating. Focus on really learn each other's thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and core motivations in everything that they do. Learn it both ways. Learn for the man and for the woman. You can take sex off the table because it's a skill. So when two people that are on the same page mentally and know each other's family history, know each other's mental health history, and you know what each other looks like transparently, then you are more likely to have a successful relationship where you can learn each other's bodies the correct way and then have great sex and then really enjoy one another. So for the men, be who you are in the beginning. Don't change up. Like, let your character show. For the women, keep it consistent. If you are a person that if you got some tomboyish ways where you like to fart and burp, make it known in the beginning, because the last thing you want is when you are 2 or 3 years into the marriage, he looking at you like you're nasty and trifling and not looking at you like you're feminine anymore. And so I'm not saying that it's bad that you do it, but I'm just saying don't put on a fake persona in order to get this person and just to find out he doesn't like what's under the hood later on.
Period. All right. Thank you,
Nelson. You saying fart straight out the gate.
No. Just have a conversation.